Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Claret and Booze. This is Nick. I have got some. I've got something that I need to share with you all this evening. As you've seen from the thumbnail, it says exclusive managerial news. Now, as you know, I've absconded from exclusives after all the crap that you've all given me since Neymar Gate. I've done that. But you know what? This ain't a manager, and I feel like West Ham do need a bit of an intervention. And after the phone call that I had earlier on tonight, I do believe that this is something where the West Ham fans, the West Ham faithful, all of us can get involved in this and push this through. Now, before any of you start giving me shit, what I've done is I've backed myself up here, right? So we've got a little WhatsApp group between us on Claret and Booze. There's a lot of people, loads of people that are in the chat that are in there now as well. And they've all heard the evidence that this is factual, right? There is a manager that has been offered to David Sullivan this evening. Now, I don't know what the board meeting is about, but apparently there is currently a board meeting going on between the board and Nuno, probably trying to ascertain what the fuck he was doing not starting a striker. That's my only guess. I don't know whether he's going to get sacked tonight. I don't know what the outcome is. And I don't know whether Sullivan, first and foremost, is going to sign this manager. But one thing that we have proof of, definitive proof, in the very best way, is that this manager wants a job. And he's also said that he will keep us up. Right? He loves the players that we've got. Acknowledges that we do need a few more. But he doesn't see any issue in keeping us up. Do you want to know who that manager is? Well, it isn't Slaven Bilic. All right? It isn't Slaven Bilic. It isn't Steve Cooper. No, it's not. It is Harry Redknapp. Harry Redknapp has said this evening, when he was spoken to about the job, whether he would take the West Ham job, even now, even in this position, and whether he thought he could save us. And he answered yes to both of those questions. He would take the job. Off the back of that conversation, he has been offered to David Sullivan. So what I'm going to do, people, and this is factual, like I said, you can say what you want. This isn't just this isn't up there. There are people in the chat now that they've heard the evidence. It's there. Harry Redknapp will take the job. He's been offered. It's as simple as that. He does think, without any question of a doubt, even in our current position, that he can keep us up. Now, if you want to go from boring defensive football to attacking football, then I think pretty much Harry Redknapp's going to tick all those boxes. We saw against Newcastle, the best that we've played all season was when tactics was ripped up. The tactics board was thrown out the fucking window. We just said, go out and play. That's what Nuno did. And we've got players that can do that now. Because that's what Harry will do. He will pick the best fucking players, balanced, put them on the pitch, and tell them to go and score some fucking goals. That's literally what he will do. All right? So think about it for 6 months, because he ain't getting no younger. He's no spring chicken. I doubt he wants a job forever. But do you know what? For one last hurrah, why on earth would anybody not want to see, after what we've been watching, see Harry Redknapp come back, take this group of players, and whoever else we do sign, could be Neymar, you don't know. whoever else we do sign in the summer, there's lots of players that we're linked with, lots of players that we could sign. What would you do? Is this serious? Yes, it is deadly serious, Billo. Deadly serious. I'm not joking. I'm not winding anyone up. I wouldn't do that. I don't think we're in a funny situation. I've got a phone call tonight. There you go. 100% legit, Gary. These are people that have heard the evidence. Okay? Not just seen it, heard it. It's there. The offer is on the table. You know, and from our group that where we run a poll, I would say, well, nobody said no. Nobody wouldn't want this at this point to be able to bring somebody in that would be able to, do you know what, G the group up, put their arms around a few players, bring and just get us going out there, playing on the front foot. Come on, this is what we need, people. So I'm going to do a poll. You're going to take part in this. So everyone that is watching this tonight, you have to vote. Okay, so I'm going to put it in there now. Let me just launch it first, and then I'm going to make a phone call, and I'm going to bring in the man that is hopefully going to make this all happen. But like I said, he can only make this happen if Sullivan wants to take that route. All right? No doubt they've got other managers in mind as well. You know? People like, I don't know, Southgate, Cooper, managers like, do you want that? I don't fucking want that. That's likely where we're going to be going. This is an intervention, a work of fucking genius from SportsX, who basically thought, yeah, let's reach out to H and see if H fancies a job, and he fucking does. He wants to come in. Right. So 1 minute. Let me, because SportsX has got a long history of working with Redknapp as well. They've known each other for years. All right. 1 minute. So I'm going to put the poll in the chat and I want you all to take part. So if on Monday morning you could open up a paper that says Nuno is now no longer with us, thanks and goodbye, and new manager for the remainder of the season is going to be Harry Redknapp to take us through to the end of the year. Okay? Tell me what you think. I know there's obviously there are some people that have got an issue with this, but in terms of football, I just don't see. For me, this is just, it's got everything. It's got romance. It's fucking mad. It's mental. It's the most West Ham thing ever. All right, he loves jam roly polies. He loves good football. What's not to like? So here we go. Harry Redknapp until the end of the season. Such a fast typer. Yes or no? Get fucking voting. This is your chance. What we're doing tonight is we're performing an intervention. Okay? We're trying to basically affect the outcome of this season as a fan base, as a collective. In fact, if you've got a Twitter account, if you've got a big Twitter account, go online and poll it. Because I don't want Southgate. I don't want Steve Cooper. I don't want any more of these fucking managers. Let's reset. Maybe for 6 months we'll be able to use the players that we've got. Somebody who might come in and be able to get the fucking best out of them. Take the weight of the world off of their shoulders. Do you know what I mean? Go out there, try and win games. For me, I'm sorry. I'm 100% all over this. All right. So there you go. 218 votes so far. How many people are watching? 500 people are watching. Why is there only 219 votes? Get in there and vote, please. Right, so let's make the phone call very, very quickly. But for me, I'll tell you what, before I do, let's go through the comments. 1 minute. Where are we? So we've got Adam Baz saying, oi, oi. Trudge, he's back again. 2 shots on target. Still talking about the game before. We've got, oh no, he's phoned in now. Right, here we go. Hang on, 1 moment. Hang on. Hello.
You're not live, are you?
I'm live now, mate. You're on. You knew I was live.
So I'm watching you, you're not live.
I am. Where's he gone? Hang on. Would you get stage fright?
Are you doing a separate program?
Huh?
Are you doing a separate program? Because are you speaking to some guy called Gary or something?
No. Oh no, you're watching the wrong one. You're watching the wrong one.
Oh shit.
Yeah, don't worry. No, we're live. We're live now, mate. I've just done the reveal. And
where do I find the new one then?
I'm running a poll. What's that?
Where would I find the one you're doing now?
Well, you're on it now. You're talking on it. Turn it off because I can hear myself in the background. So turn that off. And look, listen. How I've pitched this, X, is this is quite obviously for West Ham. I know you're not West Ham. You're not. But for West Ham fans, this is a very, very turbulent time. It is. And we are at a period at West Ham where we've got to make the right decision next. If a decision is made at all, it needs to be right. We can't get it wrong again with the next manager. Well, you had a bit of an epiphany tonight, and an epiphany that's paid off, as I've already said, and it is an option, and it is an option that has been presented to Mr. Sullivan. Let me know what your thoughts are on Harry Redknapp. Lex, in terms of what you think that he will bring to West Ham if he comes in now?
Okay, so first and foremost, I don't understand how a team that needs goals can start without a striker
Yep.
when you don't even have many options as a striker anyway.
Yep.
Secondly, there's a reason why strikers are strikers and other players are makeshift strikers. With due respect, really, I'm a big fan of Bowen. But there's a difference between a guy who's experienced playing in and around the 18-yard box as opposed to one coming from wide areas and being used as a makeshift striker, because there are certain techniques that are required in order to be very efficient when you receive the ball.
Well, like staying on side and things like that.
Yeah, so the thing is real. There's a reason why certain players run from deep, because they're not having to make immediate decisions as to what the opposition's back four is doing, and so they can see the full picture in front of them before they run forward.
Yeah.
When you have a player that is not a recognized striker being made as a makeshift striker,
yeah.
9 out of 10 times, really, the decisions are not going to be very good, because that's not their natural position.
Yeah.
One of the problems that I see at the moment is that, with due respect, I watched the game and Fulham, West Ham had enough opportunities to score, at least in the second half, and did not take them because the finishing wasn't clinical enough.
Yeah.
But people are going to talk about, for example, Juve was away and so forth. But thank God Chukwueze wasn't on the pitch today. Because if with the pace that he has for Fulham, I think he would have been in serious issues today. Also, Bassi was not.
The other one that I said earlier on, Kevin, that they was playing on the left wing, was shit. But then they brought Josh King on, who was far better than Kevin, and that really sort of caused us some problems. So I do think that we was look, we know that we was playing a depleted Fulham team, and if you're ever going to have an opportunity to beat them, today was that day for us. But we didn't try, not enough. You know, we didn't do enough.
I always, every time I come on your program, talk about horses for courses. And I spoke to you before the match, and I told you, if Raul Jimenez is playing, you will always have problems against this player, because this player actually knows how to play against your defense. And 9 out of 10 times, if he's given 1 or 2 opportunities, he's going to challenge your goalkeeper.
Yeah.
When we talk about, for example, I noticed you did a poll on Bilic.
Yeah.
I like Bilic, but I don't think Bilic would be the right man for the circumstances that you're in at this moment in time.
Right.
I was a bit concerned during Bilic's tenure how limped out of, how West Ham limped out of the Europa Cup at the very early stages in 2 consecutive seasons, from what I could remember.
Yep.
And so, really, at this point in time, really, we need West Ham. West Ham don't need defensive players. West Ham or defensive players, or players who will play defensive. I have seen enough even today to know that the defense is more than adequate for the task at hand.
Yeah.
But one of the problems that you have right now is that no matter how good your defense or goalkeeper is, if the opposition keep attacking you, at some point they're going to breach your defense.
Yeah.
And so Brazil, as I've said to you in previous conversations that we have online, that Brazil had a history of you score 20, they score 21. And that's the only philosophy, in my view, right now, that is going to get you out of trouble.
Yeah.
Because what you need in this January window are not defensive-minded players, but very offensive-minded players.
We need people who are going to score us goals.
Yeah, but we need to also have players that the opposition will fear, so that they don't continue to attack you all the time, because at some point your defense is going to break down.
Yeah.
And that is why, for example, there is only one man that I know will play the kind of football and it would mean bringing him out of retirement, and that is Harry Redknapp, because Harry would know how to get the players that you have there playing
Yep.
offensive football. Harry is a bit of a risk taker,
Yep.
and at this moment in time, even if you got the best defense and got 0-0 every match from now on, you'd still be relegated.
Yep.
So it's basically is all or nothing now. It's going for broke.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you become very careless and irresponsible defensively, but I've seen enough today from even Todibo to know that there's enough there to sweep up whatever attack is made.
I think. Listen, I think there is. There is a core of decent players there that if we add to it in the right areas, we'll be fine. I think there's It's getting that balance right as well, because I think when you play in such a defensive style, a stat came up today on a stream that I was watching that said that West Ham have got the second lowest possession percentage in the league since Nuno took over, which means that we're just giving the ball to the opposition and we're sitting back. So I think maybe a lot of the goals that we concede, it is individual errors, but when you are just playing in a way which invites pressure relentlessly, like it's the Alamo, then you're going to get cracks anyway. But I don't think the players, all of them, are as bad as what they're being made to appear at the moment. And I think we've seen it in certain games. You remember the Newcastle game where it looked like the handbrake was off, and the team sort of went at the opposition. We've proved in games like that we can do it. There is, if you play with balance and you play the right way and you attack, which I think is what our better players in this team, even our more defensive players, are more forward thinking. They are. I don't think our defenders they're not backs to the wall defenders. They're not.
Well, the biggest problem today, we played. I keep saying West Ham played straight into the hands of Marco Silva today.
Yeah.
Marco know that he didn't have his best players, especially his most dynamic offensive player, Chukwueze or whatever his name is, and he didn't have his most pacey defender, which was Bassi.
Yeah.
So basically, he couldn't really go full out to attack you in the first half. So what he did basically is allowed you to have the ball, kept back, and when they had the ball, they were very efficient with keeping it.
Yeah.
Obviously, broke down on a couple of occasions. But what happened is that the team selection today, starting without a striker, would have sent the wrong signal to Fulham that West Ham is not confident of beating Fulham.
Yeah.
And so the team that was put out was basically to try and suppress Fulham in the hope that Bowen could break away and probably score a goal.
Yeah.
And so the mindset psychologically gave Fulham an advantage even before the game started by the team selection.
Yeah, absolutely. I said that in my review. I said, what does it say when you set up without a striker? What does it say? Not just to the opposition, but what does it say? What does it say to your own team? Really, because you know yourself. If you're involved in football, there's preparation for a game. So they'll have a meeting before a game and they'll discuss how they're going to approach it, and then they'll go out on the training field and they'll work on whatever's been decided. Now, you can just imagine what that presentation must be like. It must just be, this is how we're going to mitigate the opposition threats. These are your responsibilities, your defensive responsibilities. Don't shirk it. It must all be about that, which must be soul destroying for a team in the end.
The problem that you have to be mindful of is that each time the team plays like this and the team is set up like this, the players, and they get a result like this, the players become more and more nervous. And so game after game, you will probably see a decline in even the attacking mindset of players like Somerville. It's no coincidence that Somerville, for example, he was probably told to not be so risky.
Yeah.
Going forward. And the truth is, really, there are certain players that can only play one way.
Love you too, mate.
And if you contain them, they can't play very good any other way.
Yeah.
And with due respect, really, in a game like today, if we're going to put Bowen up front, then we needed to have probably switched for Fernandez to the right and put Paqueta right behind Bowen.
Yeah.
So that basically, really, the attacking prowess of Lucas Paqueta would have been such that they would have been worried about the tenacity and the pace of Bowen,
Yeah.
and their attraction to Bowen would have opened the space for Lucas to at least have shots on goal. I think the whole way the team was set up was played straight into the hands of Fulham.
Yeah. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And the thing is, getting somebody like Redknapp in, like anyone that was brought up in that was kind of sort of cut their teeth on West Ham sort of massively. I follow West Ham before Redknapp, but during that period, we did see an amazing group of youngsters come through as well. And I know this is a much older man now, but fundamentally, Harry Redknapp isn't, and he never was kind of a technical, tactical. He has a philosophy of football. He knows a player when he sees it. He knows how to set a team up. He knows how to motivate players. And what he doesn't do is he doesn't ignore youth. You think of the players that came through under Redknapp. You're talking about Carrick. You're talking about Defoe. You're talking about Rio. You're talking about Lampard. The list is endless. Joey Cole. All of these players came through. We've got a budding academy at the moment as well. We really have. We've got some fucking good players at the moment in the academy.
We're talking about a manager. We're not asking Harry to run up and down the touchline. We're not requiring him to be fit. We're requiring him to use his ability as a coach. Now, if you recall, there was no coincidence that what's his name, Gareth Bale, turned from a decent player to a world superstar under Harry, because what Harry did was unleash Bale, taking him from wing back to basically killing the opposition running forward.
Yeah.
If you remember, there was a player that was the most highly rated right back in the world at the time. I think he was playing for Inter Milan or AC Milan. I can't recall. But his name was in Brazil. His name was Maicon.
Yep.
And everybody wanted Maicon, including Manchester City. When they played Harry in the Champions League for Tottenham, against Tottenham, Harry unleashed Bale, who absolutely annihilated Maicon. That was what made his name.
Yeah.
One thing with Harry used unfashionable teams like Portsmouth to achieve things.
Yeah.
And I believe that the biggest strength about Harry is he plays players to their strengths, and he doesn't contain players. He just go and play. He has a very Brazilian type mentality. They may score 20, but we're going to score 21. And that's the only way. That's the only way. Listen, even if you're the most economical that you can be defensively right now, you won't stay up.
X, 1 second. Alan, I know that Tony Carr developed... Sorry, this is a question about the youth players. Tony Carr absolutely was responsible for the crop of players that we had come through. But as we've seen from managers in recent years, it doesn't matter, does it? They don't play them. It's down to the manager to bring them into their team. A lot of managers don't do that. They just don't. And we've got another crop now. So of course it wasn't Redknapp that brought those players, created those players. It wasn't. But it was down to him that they came into that team. It was.
The manager's job is not to create young players. No. The manager's job is to identify the players that have been created by others and see them sufficiently good enough to play in his first team.
Yeah.
So the point is really, Harry's or any manager's job wouldn't be to make sure that he developed the players from 8 years old. His job is to identify those players that are good enough to be drafted in from the developmental squads and the under 23s or whatever they are, and played in the first team. And that's the prowess of Harry. Guys, we can look at all kinds of managers and so forth at the moment, but really what we need, or what West Ham need right now, is manager that get players playing to their strengths and just basically have the back four just doing their job, just contain the opposition and allow the offensive players to go forward. And that way, really, we contain the opposition's attack against West Ham, because no matter how defensively sound or where West Ham are, or their goalkeeper is, if a team keeps attacking you for 90 minutes, at some point they will breach your defense and your goalkeeper.
You're gonna crack. It's gonna happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, and the reality is, I don't think West Ham has the kind of funding right now to sack yet another manager, pay compensation, and also bring another manager in who will probably not want just one member of staff. Whereas somebody like Harry will just take what he's got and just run with it.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, mate.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, no.
I know it
Look,
might
look,
be
look,
crap,
look.
but
Look. At the end of the day, all we're doing is we're revealing the options that there are on the table. It won't be Sullivan's only option. There will be obviously other managers out there that they've got in mind that they would like to bring into the club. But I think that we've seen before that their choices quite often, certainly the recent three choices, they haven't worked. And the fact of the matter is, at the moment, what we need is, do you know, apart from anything else, what the place needs is a lift. Everywhere we need someone who's a bit of a people person, somebody who can potentially galvanise, the team, give them a lift, and also maybe provide that connection between the fans and the team as well. And I think there's a lot
can
of
I
work.
just say?
There's a lot of work he could do in 6 months. There really is. I think.
Can I just say one final thing? It would not have been a good signal mentally also to Wilson today, knowing that he's the only recognized striker and not chosen to start the
No.
game. If the player is fit and is your only recognized striker, then the one thing you want to do is give him the confidence to to want to want to show what he can do. It's how can you signal to your only striker that even though you're my only striker, I'd rather change somebody, put somebody who's not a striker and have you on the bench. It's not a good look, is it?
No, it's not. It's not, mate.
Yeah.
It's not. And the thing is, right, with all the work that we need to do in this transfer window as well, most importantly, I think it's quite clear that we do need, going back to what you said earlier on, we need to roll the dice now when we're playing. Take some big scalps. We're going to have to in the second part of the season, which means we've got to gamble, which means we need not just the players to facilitate that. We're going to need a manager that will give us half a chance as well. So yes, of course, nobody's saying that that Harry. We all know Harry's age. He's 78, but don't forget, I'm going to say something to you all now as well. People are saying he's been out of football for ages. Well, there is a manager that came in for us and very nearly saved us from relegation, and that was Trevor Brooking. And where's Trevor Brooking's managerial experience? How much had he managed before that? But what he did know is he knew the club, he knew the setup, and he just had a philosophy of football. And I'm assuming what he did was he basically motivated them to play, and they played for him because they was inspired by him. So I do think that this type of thing can work in this scenario that we're in now, and we need inspiring. The team does, the fans do. It's we need to light a fuse under this fucking club at the moment.
Can I say
Something's
something
got to
else?
give.
Can I say one final thing?
Yeah.
Who would you rate as a better manager today, Marco Silva or Nuno?
Yeah, Marco Silva. I'm a fan of Marco Silva.
Okay, there's a reason why I'm asking you that question.
Yeah, go on.
Well, I keep hearing you talking about Traore being a prime target for Nuno. If Traore was that good, do you think that Marco Silva would not play him more?
Yeah, no, I don't want Traore. I don't want him. But no, I agree.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think Traore can do anything better for you than Somerville or Bowen can do coming from the wings, apart from brute force and running with the ball?
No, I think it tells you what his plans are. I think what he wants to do is sit deep with two banks of four and hoof the ball to the channels for Traore to chase. I think that's literally what he wants to do.
But if he chases the ball, which I'm sure he's more than capable of doing, because he's very powerful and he can run.
Yeah.
But we're not looking to win the 100 meters in the Olympics. Ultimately, if you get in the 18-yard box, one thing we do know is that Traore is very erratic in the final third. So, and he's not very clinical. Also, he makes very strange decisions when faced one-on-one with the goalkeeper. So the point is, anything that he's capable of doing, maybe not with the same brute force, Somerville is capable of doing, Bowen is capable of doing, probably Fernandez is capable of doing, Paqueta is capable of doing. What you need are people that can put the ball in the back of the net. Running to the goal and missing it is not going to get you any points, is it?
Yeah. It's just there's a few people complaining that sound is gone. Some are saying it's gone. Other people are saying it's fine. I don't know. Maybe refresh your stream if you're struggling with sound. Refresh, not you. People who are watching, refresh the stream if that's what's happening. It should be fine.
Guys, you need two strikers, not one. You need two strikers. You need two strikers, and we're not talking about. I hear you've been told. There's a player from Rome. I can't remember his name. Is Dubic or whatever.
Yeah,
I know the player very well. He's an old-fashioned number 9, like Alan Smith and whatever. This is not in this era of football, and especially what you need. You don't need static strikers occupying the 18-yard box. You need dynamic players, and that is why, for example, you need to go and get John Duran. Yeah,
yep.
I don't care what his mentality, people think his mentality is. It's because of his mentality why you need him now, because he's the kind of guy that won't give a shit about any defenders. He will absolutely create havoc. The guy is a guy that made the West Ham sign, showing how much his heart is into West Ham. You need people whose heart is really into your club. And also you need players that can take the ball and run at the opposition as strikers, not just your wingers, not just Paqueta. And basically, everybody.
What's the other striker that we need in this window? Just out of interest.
1,000,000% Kaya George.
It's Kaya George, yes.
1,000,000% Kaya George.
There you go.
But I can tell you there are other Premier League clubs that are very close to signing him right now.
Yeah, and can I make a point as well, because somebody mentioned it further back in the chat, and there's a lot of people that do say, Duran has struggled with certain managers. Well, Harry Redknapp had great success with a renowned problem player in Paolo Di Canio, and he managed to get a tune out of him, get a connection with him, and get him playing. Could be a bit of a dream combo if we manage to get Duran in with Redknapp as well at the same time. Somebody that's got a bit of a history.
Lua wasn't an easy player to deal with.
No. No.
Harry has dealt with very problematic players in year on year. And the point is really, most players with the characteristics of Duran, the reason why they're successful is because they don't give a shit about the opposition defense.
No.
So the point is really, the little wimpy strikers is not what you need right now. You need guys with balls. And one thing about Duran can pick the ball up 20 yards, 25 yards from goal, and surprising with a very low backlift, rifle one into the roof of the net. He can do the same even with defenders around him, because he has equal dexterity on either foot, left or right.
Mate, I think as far as his talent goes, you haven't got to sell Duran. We all know about him. We know he's brilliant. The only question mark for anyone is I mean, I haven't got that, because personally for me, I like a player with fire in their belly. I like a player who's a bit of sometimes a bit of a problem. They talk about his time at Aston Villa, but at Aston Villa he wanted to be starting and he wasn't starting. So that's why he wasn't happy.
Eric Cantona was no model professional.
Yeah, no, I know.
Most players that are I mean, with due respect, Ian Wright wasn't a saint.
Yep.
Alan Shearer, I remember.
I just feel like it's time that people. It's for West Ham fans. I just feel like we need somebody that can inspire us. I mean, like somebody said in the chat there, if Leeds beat Sunderland tomorrow, which isn't out of the realms of possibility, they're 9 points clear of us, and then we're only chasing. We need to do something big, and we've got to do something big quick. We haven't got any time to sit around and fuck around. We've got to identify that what we're doing now is not working. That ain't working. It's just not. And they're going to have to try and change it, whether that's Redknapp or whether that's someone else, whoever it is. But you know what? For me, and I know what a lot of people's, a lot of West Ham fans will think on this. There's loads that are excited, but there's always going to be some that criticise, because this happens with every manager that you put out there. They've always got their own preferences. But what I do know is that if it went anywhere near the route that I think that it would take, I think after 4 or 5 games watching this team play, it would be a breath of fresh air. And like I said to you, because I think we've said before, that a lot of these modern managers, that these teams are coached to shit now, like almost too much. The game plan, it's they've taken all the freedom away from the players. I mean, we have got some good players in that team. We have got expressive players that are capable of running a game themselves. And when they're played in such sort of disciplined systems where I don't know, I just don't think it works. Whereas you're not going to get that with Redknapp. Yes, they'll be responsible. Each player will know their role. Defenders will defend, but attackers will attack. They will. It's as simple as that, you know. And the game plan will be about getting chances to your danger men. You know, your better players in the team will be given more freedom. They'll be given more freedom to kind of do what they need to do to affect the team. And for me, look, we need a curveball at the minute, and I just think it would be I think it would be good to watch, which is something that we haven't, which we couldn't say about anything that we've had to watch for the past few years. Personally,
like I said before, even if you get the best defenders and you end with every game 0-0, you will go down. So there's only one option: you have to attack the opposition and you have to score.
absolutely.
You need as many 3 points as you possibly can get. Even if you get 1 point every game from now till the end of the season,
Not enough.
It may look good on the record that you haven't lost the game, but believe me, you will go down.
Yeah, absolutely, okay, mate, absolutely. Right, okay,
guys. Nice speaking with you as always, and keep your chin up. I know as a West Ham fan, you might not be able to sleep tonight, but
nah, it's all right, mate. Well, you've given us something to think about other than the results today, so that was good. But yeah, thanks very much, mate. Nice talking to you.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, bye.
Cheers, mate. And yes, I've seen further back in the chat, Nick, you're going to get shit for this. I knew that. We had this discussion in the chat. Amanda and Kerry were saying, no, Nick, don't do it. I said, I don't care. I don't care. This, do you know what? We deserve to be talking about something different. And like I've said to you, it's not bullshit. It's not bollocks. There's people in the chat, a lot of them, that have heard the evidence that this is 100% factual. Not that Harry Redknapp's going to be our new manager. No. The fact that Harry Redknapp has said that he will take the job and he'll take it tomorrow, and he thinks he can keep us up easily as well. That's little, well, not easily, but he said he thinks he can do a lot with this team. Yeah, for me, we've got to roll the dice anyway. We have to. Who would you rather have? Would you rather have a Steve Cooper? Because who are we really going to get? If you're looking at a young manager with the CV that you want, a Marco Silva, someone like that, they're not going to risk coming to West Ham at the moment. You're asking them to risk their CV, a young manager that's got their career in front of them. You're not going to get anyone like that. So yes, Slaven Bilic, I would take Slaven Bilic as well. Personally, I would. But Harry Redknapp, with where we are at the moment, I just think it would give us a lift that we need. Personally, I do. And yes, I know there are concerns from a generation of fans in relation to Billy Bonds and all that. I'm not discarding that at all. I'm not. But there's also a big generation of West Ham fans as well that came through and thoroughly enjoyed the period under Redknapp when he managed and stuff like that. I don't know what happened between them two. I don't. I've got no clue. That's between them. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, Harry Redknapp is also a part of the history of West Ham. He did give us a really good period. He did give us like I said, the amount of players that we got in, Di Canio, there was some amazing years watching beautiful fucking attacking football. And he's done that not just at West Ham, he's done that wherever he's been. He's done it at Tottenham, he's done it at Portsmouth. He's done it with lesser teams. He's yeah, I personally think that it would absolutely 100%. I would be excited if this happened. I wouldn't know what was going to happen. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I wouldn't tell you what was going. I couldn't tell you what was going to happen. But yeah, for me, I would be happy with it. I would be. I can't stand watching my team play football anymore. I can't fucking stand it. I hate and detest defensive managers, and that's all we've had for so long. It's been so boring and so dull and so difficult to watch us play. To actually just get someone in that will maybe inspire that team and fucking play some balls out football. I'm sorry. Yeah. For me, I'm all over it. And yeah, and like I said to you, yes, I know there is going to be a section of fans, and I'm not dismissing what you're saying about Harry Redknapp. I'm not. I know there are a section of fans that have got historical grievances with him. But he managed after that as well. He managed this for a long period. We had quite a successful period as well, where we finished fifth. Yeah, no, for me, I'm sorry if it goes against the grain for a lot of people. Right, I love a lot of. He's not a legend. He's not Billy Bonds. He's not, but he's somebody that can come in at this stage, and he can inject some passion into that team. And like I've already said, one of our most successful managers, when we've been in this sort of position before, was somebody with no managerial experience. It was Trevor Brooking. He came in and the team were fucking, we were doing brilliant. And that's someone with no managerial experience. He's just somebody connected with West Ham, but he knows his football. He knew how he wanted the team to play and he empowered them to do it and they respected him. And I do think that there is definitely some legs in this, honestly. And I don't give a fuck about having the piss taken out of me. I don't care. I don't. I'm not on the rest of social media. So they can say what the fuck that they want. But for the people that watch this channel, for something like that, I think there's going to be quite a few people that would be excited by that news, as I can see by the poll as well. I can. There are 729 votes. Let me show you. Where are we at the moment? Bearing in mind, the majority of people were just thinking, oh, this ain't going to happen. You're talking this, you're talking that. You might be right. I don't know. But one thing that isn't bollocks is the fact that the conversation happened tonight. And, so a lot of people, 65% would take Redknapp until the end of the season. They would. It's as simple as that. I'm just, I would definitely be up for it. I would. Thank you for joining me. That's it. I'm going to leave it there. And I will speak to you again tomorrow. I will. All right. You can go and watch everyone take the piss out of me on X and things like that now. I don't give a fuck. See you later on. Come on, you irons.